humans, we're so smart, human beings, and we have language and we have words, but the words very often for us get in the way of knowing things directly as they are. We start to label things based on our concepts and words. Animals don't do that. Animals know things directly. You know, they don't have a language to get in the way of a direct experience. And the experiences of this movie are very primitive ones for all of us, of trust, love, compassion, you know, that deep sense of knowing another living being and allowing that deep connection to flourish and trusting it and the loyalty involved with that trust. Very powerful things for all of us. Even the way I approached the dogs, we were very careful. You can't buy them, like we talk about in the film. You cannot buy their affection. They either like you or they don't. And there was a very tense moment when I met the dogs first. Because if it didn't go well, we would have to get other dogs. Because they don't change their mind easily either. Once they've decided, either they don't like you, then that's it. Or if they do like you, that's also it. They're there. So the first time I met these dogs, the trainer said, look, and he brought me outside. It was actually in the train station that's in the movie. He was training the dogs there. And he came out and he was a little nervous. And he said, you know, when you meet the dogs, don't look at them. Don't try to touch them. Don't try to give them food, nothing. Just hang with us. And we'll just talk gently and no big deal. Just be yourself, but don't engage the dogs. Don't try to engage the dogs. We did this for a whole day. The next day, we kind of went for a walk together. But still, I didn't touch the dogs or look at the dogs. On the third day, I was sitting talking with the trainers, and the female dog came over to me and put her head on my leg. And I looked over at the trainer, he said, okay, and I touched the back of the dog's head. From that moment, I was one of them. I was in. Personally, of course, I had to respect these dogs, but as making a film, we had to have enormous patience. We were making a movie, and although we didn't have much money to make this movie, small budget, it still was a lot of money. And if we would go for a day, which we did sometimes, and not get anything we could use, it hurt. But we still were not pushing past the point we would get something natural. So we decided to shoot the film with digital equipment so that we could have very long takes. Sometimes we would have 45 minutes or an hour takes of just interacting with the dog. Not trying to do anything special, but just allowing something special to happen on its own. And you've got to have a lot of patience for that. In this case, you know, I had a pretty clear sense of how to tell this story. And, you know, that's why I wanted Lasse Hallström to direct this. And we've made, this our second film? Yeah, second film together. And we live very close to each other in the country. And Lasse has this sense also of being very simple. He trusts characters, he trusts the story. He's very smart, and he's a wonderful filmmaker, but he does, the hardest thing in the world is to be simple. In everything in life. But in film, you see there's a lot of directors who are dazzling. You know, it's like, oh, a camera's doing this, and it's cutting, and it's doing, and jump, and all this. That has its own difficulty, much more difficult being simple. All the classic films are done with great simplicity. And the stories themselves and the characters come through, the emotions come through in a very genuine, very honest way. And that's what we want to do with this film. So frankly, You've seen the film. The star of this movie is the dog. So I said, well, for me to do this, I think I probably should produce it as well and make sure that it has this feeling that I want it to have.